And we are live. What's going on, everybody? It's Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media. Got a pretty cool background there. You like what you see? Yeah, I do too. Hey, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We do college football content here at Ballard Sports Media. We also want to talk and go live for like some baseball games and stuff. We're doing some March Madness a little bit. I've been so busy with work and everything, I haven't found all the time in the world, but at the same time, you still try to, make YouTube a priority in ways, and we we definitely want to get back to putting out some content. I figured I'd go live today and talk up some college football with you guys. I'll go ahead and drop the StreamYard link if you want to be a part of the show today. I messaged a couple people, let them know I was going to go live, but we'll uh, we'll drop the StreamYard link here in the comments. Anyone's welcome to join in at any time. Why Alabama? Background, green screen. Well, first off, I am a fan, but I am pumped up because I got off work and I'm still waiting to hear back from some of my YouTube buddies on here, like Raymond Jamma Taylor or whoever. I even reached out to our friend X Wing Sports. If you guys remember him, he took me to my first Alabama game, him and Millis, when we went to see Vanderbilt in 2022. So I've reached out to a couple people, still waiting to hear back, but want to get some guys together and go hang out for a day and check it all out. So we'll see how that goes this year. So today, basically, I wanted to get on here, go live, and if you're watching this back, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It's okay if yeah, we got a couple people watching. If nobody hits the link today, that's fine. Thank you for watching it back, though. We're probably only on here. I don't know how long we'll go, but uh, I just wanted to come on here today and talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers. Where do things stand with them? For who's the better team in the state? Well, who's the better current team in the state? Alabama, obviously. But who would you put your money on to have a better season in 2024? And you might say it's obvious because Alabama's Alabama, but a new head coach, new coaching staff, new system, same old players. A couple guys came back like Caden Proctor a couple weeks ago. Jalen Milroe is still going to be quarterback number one, at least for the moment and time being. But, it's one of those things that, like, you don't want to bet on Alabama. And I say that with all due respect. I think, like, you want to bet that they're going to win 8+ games. I think I pegged them at 9-3, but I said it could be 8-4. It could probably be 10-2. I just don't expect Kalen DeBoer to come in and just run this program like and have it skyrocket. He's not going to do what Kirby Smart did in like his second year and take him to a national championship in year one. He's not going to do any of that. At least I don't think. Now, are the pieces there to do it? Yes, but I feel like with the SEC, with the new schedule, with everything. I mean, we still got to see how it looks for A-Day. We still got to see how this team looks. But I think Kalen DeBoer is a really good head coach. But does he know what he's walking into with the SEC? You got to go to Oklahoma. You got to play Auburn at the end of the year. We'll talk a little bit about Auburn today. Uh, you got to play Georgia at home. That's an L right there, right off the bat. Uh, they play, double check, LSU, Tennessee, and Knoxville, which Tennessee was able to win that game in 2022. So there's obviously going to be some challenges and some roadblocks, but I would still also say that there's not too much that he can't handle. I mean, look, if he goes out and makes the SEC championship as one of the best two teams in the conference, holy cow! That's great. That's amazing. I think that a lot will be said after the spring. There's already a lot being said right now. Um, they're saying Jalen Milroe looks better. They're saying that Justice Haynes has been working out so much. And then we're gonna watch the spring game. What if these guys don't look as good as maybe we built them up to be? You know what's gonna be happening is rat poison, as Coach Saban would put it. There's gonna be rat poison that, "Oh, well, they look so terrible on the field on Saturday, so they're not it's not gonna be pretty this season." I mean, the same thing happened last year because the quarterbacks didn't look the part, and Alabama had all these questions about the quarterback position, and it wasn't perfect, but did Jalen Milroe not take over the job halfway through the season, after that USF game and go forward and continue to get better? Is what I'm trying to get at. Like, that's the thing is you can speculate based off spring practice and spring games, but then you're also gonna have a whole off season ahead of you. You're gonna have fall camp. You're gonna have a couple of cupcake exhibition type of games to start out the season. I can even pull up their schedule if you guys want it. I don't care, but you know, there's gonna be a lot. A-Day is April 13th for Alabama. The week before is Auburn. They play at 2 p.m. Eastern on the SEC Network Plus. Alabama is at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Saturday, April 13th. Now, looking forward to it, hoping to go. At this moment, I'd say it's a yes. But we'll get it figured out, straightened out. You look at their schedule. We've already done schedule previews for teams like Alabama, but they open up pretty handily with Western Kentucky and USF at home. But then you got to keep an eye on, okay, what about the Big Ten? What about going to Wisconsin? Now, I don't know what people expect of Wisconsin and Luke Fickell in this next season, but I would expect them at home to probably be a little bit better than Alabama and to give them a game. That was my phone. I'm sorry about that. Let me go. I thought I had that on mute. Give me 1 second. Anyway, back to this. Happy Good Friday too, by the way. Um, so Wisconsin week 3, you get the bye week. Georgia's a big L. You have who do you have next? Vanderbilt. I mean, you should probably win that game, but going on the road in the SEC, that's your first SEC road game for Kalen DeBoer. And Vanderbilt is Vandy, yes, but they're at least better than the Vandy they probably were back 5, 6 years ago. At least in my book, I think they have improved. I mean, they were what, 1 game shy of a bowl last year? So, then you get South Carolina at Tennessee. Now, I'm trying to keep in touch. I got an uncle and an aunt, um, that live near Knoxville. I'm trying to go to Knoxville because I wanna check it out and go to a 3rd Saturday game, get a victory cigar, all that good stuff. Missouri is your homecoming game. Again, I've already given my thoughts on all this schedule, but just to, like, reiterate, like, just bring it up again, like, Missouri's better than they have been in years past. Would assume they're bringing a lot back. Haven't looked into them too much. LSU, Mercer, Oklahoma, then the Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa on November 30th. That's what I wanted to talk about too. Alabama or Auburn in 2024, who would you take? You would think the automatic answer is Alabama, and I agree with you. I mean, I don't expect much in year 2 for Hugh Freeze. I mean, I could see improvement for sure, But Imma be honest and say that they're probably in the same boat. They got young head coaches, okay? You don't know what you're getting into for for these teams in schedules. I mean, Auburn, you know, they play California and Alabama A&M to open the season, New Mexico. Those are 3 wins right there, we think. Arkansas, I mean, they could go 4 and dude, if they beat Oklahoma at home on September 28th, if Auburn pulls that off, that's huge. That's big. Now, you say whatever you want about Oklahoma and the SEC, "Oh, they're not ready, they're not ready." Oklahoma's gonna be a good team. They get undefeated and then go to Georgia, probably have some momentum to pull an upset there. I don't think it'll happen, but I really I'm trying to get to the point of, like, both of these teams are mystery teams in the SEC this year. You got Alabama for the first time in a long time. You don't know what to expect because they got a new coach, right? I mean, it's been almost 20 years since they hired Nick Saban and, like, had to figure some stuff out. Hugh Freeze, he's like I feel like now I understand there's a lot of pressure for, the Alabama head coach. I understand that completely, but at the same time, there's also pressure for Auburn because you gotta play your brother. You gotta play that. And if you win the Iron Bowl, especially on the road this year in Tuscaloosa, that's huge. I mean, Auburn has not won a Iron Bowl this decade. I'm talking about the 2020s. So, how would you assess Auburn and Alabama? These teams in my state, we could even talk about UAB if you want. I haven't really done enough research for UAB, just being honest. Um, I'm pulling for them, going to school there. Their schedule, I am curious, so I'm gonna look at it. But definitely wanna focus in on, you know, Alabama and Auburn. So who does UAB play, though? Alcorn, at ULM, at Arkansas, Navy, Tulane, at Army, at USF, Tulsa, UConn, Memphis, Rice, at Charlotte. That's not bad. They could probably get to that American Championship, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it looks like, but I don't really know what to expect for the Blazers. But you talk about the other in-state teams with Auburn and Alabama, like, that game is so huge on the calendar in this state for the Iron Bowl. I mean, people take off work, they make it a holiday. I mean, it's bigger than Turkey Day on Thursday and stuff like that, and, they decorate the house for it. I mean, more so than they probably would decorate for Christmas. You got Auburn fans, like, already throwing toilet paper in trees before the game tips off, and I mean, it's huge. But, uh, I think that just those 2 teams Georgia's going to be at the top of the SEC this year for sure, but are those the teams that start out playing for 2nd place? No divisions, by the way. You also got teams like Texas and Tennessee. I think they're in the mix. I mean, for the first time in a long time this year in the state of Alabama, you could have it to where I know like LSU's had to win the West over Alabama recently and stuff like that, but uh still, like even when that happened, Alabama was at least team number 3, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, for the first time in a while, like a hot minute, you could have these 2 teams in the state of Alabama not at the top of the SEC. And not only are they not at the top, there's a great possibility that they're outside of the top 3 best teams in the SEC. Auburn and Alabama not being in the mix for an SEC title this year is going to be insane. But if you're an SEC or college football fan and you're looking at that without any bias or anything towards or against these teams, you're saying this makes things interesting. You're going to have Georgia, Texas, LSU, Oklahoma, whoever else. What would it be like without these two teams competing for an SEC title this year? It would kinda honestly suck for the in-state people in the state of Alabama, but for the rest of SEC country, for people in Mississippi, for Louisiana and LSU, for Kentucky, for Texas and Oklahoma and Georgia, for all these other states, for Florida, is great. It opens the door. Listen, it opens the door. And again, let me pause here, and I'm not saying these teams won't compete for the SEC. We'll see how it shakes out. I think Auburn's gonna be improved. I think Alabama takes steps back. I'm just saying, what if? We're playing the what if card. Like, what if these teams don't really compete or add up for for the SEC championship race? What if like even going with 8 or 9 wins for Alabama, what if it's still not good enough to be right there in the mix for an SEC title? What if? What if all 3 of your losses come to the SEC? I mean, you could have that, right? At LSU, at Tennessee, and Georgia. Those are 3 losses. Oklahoma's in the they gotta play Oklahoma they're in the SEC. That could be 4 losses all on the road in the SEC if Alabama's not careful. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but, you know, it's it's gonna look a little different this year in the SEC, but I think that's good for college football, and, you know, it's it's gonna be one of those things in the state of Alabama, like, you're just gonna have to get used to this new norm, at least for 2024, right? So, that's my 2 cents on it. Again, I mentioned we won't be on here too long. Appreciate everyone for tuning in the comments and watching. We got a couple of people watching online on YouTube, so appreciate it. Doesn't look like we are live on Facebook, but it doesn't look like we have any viewers over there right now, which is okay. I love each and every one of you on there as well. So just yeah, I'm looking forward to this football season. Looking forward to what uh, these two teams do in the state of Alabama and other teams out there. It's going to be interesting to watch teams like Georgia, obviously not going anywhere. What about Florida State? Did that Orange Bowl break them? Are they going to fall off? That's going to be interesting to see what Mike Norvell does after Jordan Travis and company went undefeated last year up until that Orange Bowl. Penn State should be very well improved. Ohio State's looking good. Michigan, the defending champs, what do they look like without Jim Harbaugh in the Big Ten? Georgia Tech should be improved in the ACC. Miami, there's a lot of teams out there that should, like, nobody should really take a major step back other than maybe Alabama. Honestly, I see it like this. And again, I remind everybody I'm an Alabama guy, but I'm clear cut and unbiased as a sports journalist. Like I, s- I can't believe I'm going to say this. Not all of college football. I see most of college football taking steps forward to get to that next level, while Alabama, with the new head coach, as Saban's retired, is taking a few steps back. When's the last time you could say, when have you ever been able to say, I think college football is going to be improved this year, except Alabama? When's the last time you could have said that? You don't know. You weren't there. It's never happened. So, anyway, folks, just wanted to come on for 20 minutes or so and, kind of talk up some college football. I did drop the link. We had some viewers. Appreciate you. Love you. Nobody clicked on it, and I've kind of run through everything I wanted to get off my chest today about these teams in the state of Alabama and what it could look like in 2024 for the Alabama Crimson Tide, Auburn Tigers. Looking for UAB, I just want to go to school and check it out and just pull for them. Again, I don't have a lot of knowledge right now on their football team this offseason and what they've done, but Mm. definitely have heard a lot and looked into Alabama and Auburn and what they could look like this year. Hugh Freeze over Kalen DeBoer, is that it? We will find out in the Iron Bowl in November later this year. We got a long way to go. I think Alabama gets off to a rocky start, but maybe improves throughout the season, or you could reverse that, say they have a hot start but fall off late at the end. Maybe it's up and down. I don't know. I don't 12-team playoff too. Who has a better chance at that? You would probably bet Alabama, but again, there's a lot of questions and unknowns. I know they bring a lot back. I understand the experience. But a new head coach going into the SEC is a new coach going into the SEC, setting up for challenges he's probably not ready for yet. That's just my assessment. I am not saying that about Kalen DeBoer. But I'm saying that about any coach that goes to a new conference, you got to make adjustments and you got to make adjustments quick. This guy's coming from the West Coast in Washington. He's going to the Southeast. He's filling the shoes of Nick Saban. That's insane. He had the guts to pick up the phone and not only pick it up to Greg Byrne, he had the guts to say yes. That's huge. What are you going to do about it, Kalen? What you got, DeBoer? Hugh Freeze, we're looking at you too. What are you going to do for Auburn? I'll get out of here. I love you guys. Have a blessed Easter and holiday weekend. I'll see you. Y'all can't see that. Peace.